I ran a poll a few months ago on YouTube, and it was just a question I posed. And I said, what is the biggest challenge you face as a new voice actor? And then I made some suggestions like finding time to audition or practice, lack of help or advice and feedback, daunted by the technology maybe, fear of failure, and then anything else you wanted to put down. And I was quite surprised by the results. So finding time to audition or practice, I thought a lot of people would say that. About a fifth, 20% said that. Lack of help and advice, feedback, that was about 22%. And then daunted by the technology, which I thought would be a major block to people getting voiceover work and why they didn't do it, a major obstacle really, was only 10%, which really surprised me. And then the biggest one, which again surprised me, was fear of failure, 42%, which I just found incredible, really, and quite sad that people would be worried about failing, And I think it's down to confidence. I think it's about building confidence. And that will help you negate that fear of failure. I think we all have a fear of failure. Some people have a fear of success, actually, as well. But a fear of failure shouldn't stop you doing voiceovers. It's not the obstacle you want. And you want to address that as soon as you can. So let's look at a few things you can do just to boost your confidence in getting voiceover work and boost your voiceover confidence generally, really. I think the first thing is to be prepared. Preparation is everything. And as the Scouts would say, be prepared is 90% of it. And by be prepared, I think we can certainly identify knowing your equipment. So that's not an issue. That shouldn't be an issue when you get an audition or you get some work. You're not thinking, how on earth do I record it? How do I use my mic properly? How do I use my recording software, my DAW? How do I edit? How do I take breaths out? How do I do corrections? How do I export an MP3 or a WAV file? All of these things you should know, and you should learn them. And learn them to an extent that you become an expert in what you're doing. You should have no qualms about learning this stuff. And I think even if you spend a whole weekend doing it, then what I would recommend you do is also go back and keep practicing. Even if you're not doing any voiceovers, I would certainly recommend you practice on even a daily basis if you can, or at least every 2 or 3 days. Get to know your equipment, get familiar with it, get familiar with everything to do with recording and editing. And then that won't be an obstacle to your success. So be prepared. The next thing is more to do with the vocalization of voiceovers, and that is warm up your voice. You don't want to get behind the mic and it's all cracking or it sounds too thin. You might find that certain times of the day are better to record in, but that's not always feasible, is it? Because you might get an audition in the afternoon or first thing in the morning or late at night. So warming up your voice with some basic warm-up exercises. I've got some on this channel, and I'll put the link there so you can see it. And just get your voice in tip-top shape. So again, that doesn't become an issue, an obstacle to you doing the voiceover. Once you've done that, so you know your equipment, your voice is nicely fine-tuned, the next step really is to learn your lines, but you're not really learning your lines because we're not acting in the sense that we don't have any reference point. We do because we have the script there in front of us. But become familiar with the script. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, but I don't have time to familiarise myself with the script because I'm doing these auditions. They come in, you've only got a set time limit, and you're thinking, I just need to get this out, so I'll press record. Never seen the words before, or just given them a kind of once over, and then do it. And that's when you start fluffing and stumbling. What I would say is read through that script, and I would do it in this order. I would read through the script in your head first, so you can hear the sound of your voice in your head without saying anything. Then I would read it again out loud. You're not recording at this point. I would just read it out loud, and maybe read it out loud a second time and annotate the script as well. And by that, I mean you need to mark out any prat traps. So any combinations of words that might trip you up, any difficult words you might need to learn, anything like that, so that you are really familiar with the script. And only at that point should you go into record. And the best way to record is rolling recording. So you press that record button, talking to the mic, and off you go. When you make a mistake, just go back and reread that line again. Don't stop the recording. Just keep rereading that line or that phrase or whatever. If you're in the middle of the script, you're halfway through, no need to go back to the beginning of the whole thing. Just pick it up from the middle or wherever you are. And then when you're doing your post-production, you can sit down with a nice cup of tea. You can hear where you made the mistake, and you can hear where you did the correction. And that really takes the pressure off you. You can just relax and enjoy the recording. And finally, I'd say don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, we all do it. There's a lovely line by Cher, the actor and singer, who says, before you can make it in this business, you have to make a fool of yourself. Now, the great thing is in voiceovers, you make a fool of yourself really mostly on your own, don't you? But don't worry about it, because we all make mistakes. It's only through making mistakes that you can learn where you're going wrong. So mistakes are all part of it. Just don't think to yourself, oh, I've got to get this right first time. You're not trying to be a one-take wonder. It's not a competition. You're trying to give the best possible delivery you can. And that means if it takes you 7 goes, it takes you 7 goes. If it takes you 70 goes, it takes you 70 takes to get that right. But make mistakes. We all do it. It's not live. You're not live on air. You're not a live announcer. You are in your little recording studio and you're re-recording those pieces when you get it wrong. So once you've done your nifty editing, you listen back and you think, oh, the client would never know. And in conclusion, what I want to say is that, look, confidence doesn't come overnight. It's a slow process. You're taking baby steps. Be gentle on yourself. Be kind to yourself. And just take those little steps. Learn and grow. And your confidence will grow as well. But if you don't do it, you're never going to get any confidence at all. So building that confidence, that self-esteem behind the microphone is really important. But you can do it. I've got faith in you. So get out there and start doing it right now. All right. Thanks very much for watching today. Look after your voice and see you next time.